Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
74% of U.S. grants in excess of $1.3 trillion a year cannot be traced. It's very, very interesting to me. And I couldn't help but notice in all of the talk of the new nominees for office, especially in these Democrat mafia dungholes, who's going to be the new face of the thiefdom? I don't know if this Peggy Flanagan, if they did any research, but what is on her face? Is it a foot? What exactly is that? Because that's not a nose. Tell you what, I never thought I'd see nostrils like that, at least not since 2016. However, Peggy Flanagan was asked about the tens of billions. Are you listening to me, Squirrel? Tens of billions. A billion is 1,000 million. It's not just the Somalian pirates. It's all the Democrats, scumbags, in on that fraud. How it was stolen. She was the lieutenant governor. What were you doing? Were you trimming your nostril hairs? Did you see the nose on this broad?
Do you deserve any responsibility, the lieutenant governor, for those fraud schemes that have taken place in your state over the last several years?
I would say, the governor says the buck stops with him. More should have been done sooner, and I agree. And now we know that 100 people have been charged, 60 have been convicted.
Get the hell out of here, nostrils. This is the same thing they're going to do. Do you understand? The thieves pretend to be the police. Cory Booker, you want to talk about sugar in his tank. He looks like a poster for Sean P. Diddy baby oil parties, doesn't he? Here he is talking about politicians insider trading. Now, you mean like Nancy Pelosi, or you mean like, what's his name? Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna, 170 million in insider trading. Never a loss. 6 trades a day, not one loser.
So here's how politicians and government officials from both parties are making millions of dollars trading stocks while in office. Members of Congress have access to non-public information, classified briefings, and other direct conversations with the company.
Hold on. I just for a cleansing breath. He's a Democrat. The Democrats have perfected, not exclusively, but 99% of all insider trading scum are not just Nancy Pelosi. Get off the table, whore. But Ro Khanna, the face that's on virtually every news station as he is quickly become an oligarch in the mafia. Here he is.
This is worse than I thought. This guy, Ro Khanna from California, since he's been in office, he is averaging 17 trades every single trading day for an average of $16,500 per trade. 17 trades a day, every single day for holy, how is that possible? I'm sorry, but even if you have somebody doing this for you, how can you 17 trades a day, 2,000 days since you've been in office, 17 trades a day for an average of $16,500 a day.
Not one loser, $170 million in 7 years. And here's Cory Booker, fellow Democrat who has never found his underwear at a Diddy party.
Companies and industries that we oversee and regulate. Trading stocks in those companies creates an unavoidable conflict of interest. Even the appearance that a public official could personally profit from government decisions erodes.
So now you may not think these stories are connected, but they are. Because the scandal of policy money being stolen distracts from the party that facilitated the policy. You see, the party that facilitates these policies, where you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. From lower free healthcare, free, let's call it free. Free healthcare, free food, free rent, Which is the party of that? The Barack Obama, when policies were immediately uncoupled from any financial responsibility. And it's called buckshot. Just throw it at the wall. People like me and you will be so busy trying to finance ourselves in these Democrat fiefdoms, we'll never be able to put two and two together between the grants and the policies and the money and the insider trading. What are we going to do? It's election season. Hope my guy wins. That's the game. But every once in a while, there's more than enough evidence to prove our point. Let's take New York City. New York City. Sure, why not? New York City, Chinese nationals have made tens of millions, not quite as much as the Somalians, but real close. Well, our friend Nick Shirley has found just one adult daycare center, one, that has been charging tens of millions of dollars for adult daycare. Nobody's there. But you know how they did it, Squirrel? They first campaign contribution to a PAC that directly linked to the governor, Kathy Hochul, who had so much Botox shot in her face yesterday, she couldn't blink her left eye today.
$41,580. That is 5.6 times the national average. Let's go see what kind of business they're.
Now that business, that's the dollar amount that business gave Kathy Hochul's PAC. Let's hear it again. She can't blink her left eye, Botox, Merlot, antidepressants, postmenopausal chaos.
$41,580. That is 5.6 times the national average. Let's go see what kind of business they're operating. And Living Well received $8.6 million in 2025. And on their peak day of business, they billed the state for 406 beneficiaries. My name's Nick Shirley.
No, we don't need any survey.
And sir, could you just answer the questions? No. So we just come straight with the facts, and they start running. And $8.6 million in 2025. Flushing, Queens is full of adult daycare businesses that I believe are operating fraudulently. None of them.
But first, Nick, young Nick Shirley, who does the job no reporter employed by propaganda media has done. All the guys with the fancy suits. You got your sport coat on, your pension, NBC, ABC. CNN's for sale, Squirrel. Yeah, rumor is they'll give you $3 million if you take it off their hands. None of them could do it, but this kid in his hoodie did it. And it's a fantastic realization of how they understood, even from communist China, where it's very hard to find a T-bone steak. Just cut the Democrat scumbags in, and you'll get away with everything. And you know who was a facilitator of this, Squirrel? The Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah, you were. And this particular character, whose name is Heidi Beirich, white as Ed Burke's ass and 5 times the size of it. She truly looks like Grossberger. Did you ever see the movie Stir Crazy Squirrel? Oh, it's a fantastic movie. Way back when, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, and they were in prison with a big fat slob. You could almost smell him through the screen. That's exactly who Heidi Beirich is. Exactly. She looks like him with a wig on.
Yes, today, my understanding is today there was an arrest made, and there is a new indictment that includes the former CFO of SPLC. I don't have any comments about whether.
Now, CFO, Squirrel, you know what that stands for? Chief Financial Officer. Could stand for a lot of things. So you could have a lot of fun with her. She got love handles on her neck, yardstick of ass crack, and ugly as the day is long. And I'm talking about a hot day in India.
We've said from the beginning, everybody, not just me, but anybody who's talked about this case, like virtually every criminal case, the fact that an indictment is returned doesn't end the investigation. It's just part of the investigation in most cases, which is certainly true in this case. I think as alleged in the indictment, this individual participated in the scheme as alleged. I believe she was part of the effort to open bank accounts in completely fictitious companies' names and make payments to individuals for reasons that were not accurate as described.
That's just some of it, Todd Blanche, you handsome devil. She was paying one neo-Nazi, $1.2 million to Stuper. And I'll tell you what, he was underpaid. Cialis and Viagra should study this, Caballero, because you can't get a guy in Joliet prison to take a look at her.
New details are drawing attention to a former top official at the Southern Poverty Law Center the organization best known for tracking hate groups and extremism.
It's always worse than we thought.
According to the Justice Department's expanded case against the SPLC, a senior official, identified in court documents as Employee 2, was in a romantic relationship with a confidential informant embedded inside the white supremacist group National Alliance.
They didn't just pay him to foment the hate they told their donors they were fighting. They actually dated him.
The superseding...
Are you listening to this? Every dollar that this company has on this shore and their offshore accounts, every dollar illegitimate, every dollar a fraud, every dollar given under false pretenses. This entire organization should be seized by the government overnight. After all, let's revisit Grossberger. Let's revisit this fat pig who was paying a neo-Nazi to play naked leapfrog, and nobody's getting over her big ass.
Yes, today, my understanding is today there was an arrest made, and there is a new indictment that includes the former CFO of SPL.
CFO, hence employee number 2.
By taking their money away, they can't function anymore.
And that was successful?
Yes, every single one of them has been successful. Obviously, when these groups...
She even sounds dainty, doesn't she? Like a grown-up Shirley Temple, doesn't she? She sounds like a lumberjack who was smoking 3 packs of Camels every day. Here you go, Fatso, take it away.
So I think that there's a big problem here in trying to figure out how many investigations go on of this, who is identifying extremists, how is this being reported. There is supposedly a report the Pentagon does every year internally on white supremacy in the military. Is that happening? What is it indicating? It's very hard to answer your question because there's no transparency, no data.
My God. Can you hear the phlegm in the back of her throat scroll? What was that neo-Nazi thinking? Fishmongers run from her. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1783, the Revolutionary War was nearly over, but America's future remained uncertain. Officers in the Continental Army were angry. Congress had failed to provide promised pay, and some considered using the Army's power to force the government's hand. George Washington understood their frustration, but he also knew the liberty they had fought to win could be destroyed by the very army that secured it. Washington confronted his officers and urged them to choose honor, patience, and loyalty to the Republic over rebellion. He could have used their anger to increase his own power. Instead, he used his influence to restrain it. Power asks what it can take. Character asks what duty requires. Washington's lesson still stands. Freedom survives when leaders place principle above ambition and remain faithful to God, country, and the people they serve.
Hey, it's Shaun Thompson. You know, one day it's market volatility. The next day it's conflict overseas. Price jumps, confidence drops, and suddenly retirement feels less certain. When the latest headline pushes costs higher and stokes inflation fears, it can have a ripple effect on your investments and your budget. But here's the thing. Retirement shouldn't depend on perfect timing or on the latest geopolitical noise. Tom Fortino and the Alpha Wealth Group help families right here in the Chicago area build a plan to create income you can't outlive, control taxes, minimize risk, protect your assets, and prepare an estate and legacy